Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Obita Potato. Welcome to Factory Town, and welcome to the Magic Shack. That's right, this is the Potato Magic Shack, where we are going to be creating the humble mana crystal. Is it humble? Who knows? Is it mystical? Nobody knows. We're gonna have to find out over the course of this episode, but yeah, we're gonna be turning mana shards into, I think it's mana crystals. That's right, it's mana crystals, and we are going to be doing so with the power of magic, or something or other. Anyway, in order to create the mana crystal, we need mana shards, we need fuel, and we need blue coins. Blue coins, as you can see, are in plentiful supply. Fuel is not overly challenging to deal with, and mana shards, well, mana shards are here in absolute abundance. The only thing that worries me very slightly is that we don't seem to have any worker capacity left, which is not honestly a problem. I mean, there's going to be like a bunch of things that I can cut back on, at least temporarily, to just sort of get us over the line. I'm just sort of having a little look around to see what the situation is over here. There's 10 workers over at that farm. I mean, 10 workers is probably overkill, right? Probably don't need 10 workers. Yeah, we'll take it down. You know, take it down to a solid 5. Take it down to a solid 5. We can always readjust later. Anyway, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get fuel from this mine over here. We've got the coal deposit, which is already being mined by this mine. The magic forge, as I've already highlighted, is going to be staying right here. We're actually going to be creating a copy of this mine, and then we're going to stick it right over there, and we're going to tell it, hey, build mana shards. Mana shards can be extracted by utilizing red coins, which is fine. I think one singular worker in the mine is probably okay for now. We'll just get those shards transported to the magic forge. I'm anticipating, by the way, that I will need a fair few mana shards and mana forge production areas. But you know what? That is fine. We can always deal with that later. Right. So give me that there, that in there, and can we come out this way? Not unless I ditch that. That's totally fine. Anyway, yeah, so I thought it would be a good idea to just make sure that we hit the ground running in this episode. Not to say that we don't hit the ground running in every episode. On the contrary, actually, I feel like of all of the series that I've done, this is a very efficient series. We've done a lot of stuff, and we're actually quite early. Like, there's a lot of mileage. There's a lot of potential optimization for sure. But I think we're laying some, we're laying down some pretty good groundwork here. Anyway, let's get this plumbed in right now. There's not really a great way to go about making this scalable, but we'll at least try. I need to see if I can try and get some elevated belt going into the back of these forges so that we can get over the top. Let me do that. Excellent, and then we ditch the bottom. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do, but I appreciate that anyway. Yes, we'll ditch that there. Cool. And now that is scalable. That's kind of fun, isn't it? Easy as pie. Nice, easy, little efficient way to make sure that we have a lovely scalable system. Very cool indeed. Right, okay, so that is two mana forges. Is 2 mana forges enough? Is it too few? Is it not enough? We'll never know. Well, that's not true. We will know. We will find out. We'll find out very soon. But for now, let's just pretend that it's enough. I'm also going to maneuver this around a smidgen over there. This is not scalable. This is a garbage design. This is a very poorly designed design, because what I actually wanted to do was have an elevated belt that goes all the way along here, and the coal is input at a slightly higher level. That is what I wanted to do. I don't know why I built this piece of garbage. It's just that. It's that moment of disconnect. That moment of disconnect where you realize, no, I really have no idea what I'm doing, to be honest. That moment of disconnect usually happens at around the 4 or 5 minute mark, and I'm like, oh, holy cow, I need to I need to actually engage my brain in order to come up with a suitable way of solving this problem or that problem or any problem for that matter. And you know, the answer usually comes to me around about the 30-minute mark. But until then, I'm floundering. Right now, I'm floundering hard. That's not actually true. I'm very, very happy with this. This is a very, very good setup. This is a very, very good setup. Let's just create a nice simple output so we can start getting some mana crystals into the barn. Because if you'll recall, we actually need, how many is it? It's 20, I think? Yeah, 20 mana crystals in order to upgrade our base to the next level. In addition to the metal conveyor belt, I think we're fine on metal conveyor belt. Leather, metal, conveyor belt. Yeah, we got 256. So we got loads. We've got loads and loads and loads. Also, I've had a brainwave. I had a brainwave just whilst I was thinking, you know, between episodes and whatnot. There is a very, very simple way that I can maneuver minecarts around this area, and it's by using sorters. It's not by using filters. We just put a sorter on the track and we face it in the direction that we want to go, and a sorter forces trains to go in a certain direction. So this train should go straight ahead, if I'm not mistaken, and everything else should go down. If it's not an apocryphy sellable item, then it should be directed down. So this belt right here is no longer required. I say belt, you know what I mean. This minecart track is no longer required because we've figured out the matrix. We figured it out. We now know the secret to success. 10 quick tips to keep you rich or something. Make that a general store product. It's gonna direct the minecarts that have got general store products, i.e. these reinforced planks. They should be directed just down here. It's literally that simple. I don't even know why I didn't think of this before. It's embarrassing that I didn't, frankly, but now that it's sorted, I'm sure that it'll be fine, and we can return to this area and we can improve it as we go in the future. Anyway, back to the mana crystals. What's the situation with the mana crystals? I mean, the mana crystals need a fair amount of boost. Speaking of boost, we've got pipe. We've got fluid pipe. Carries water and various other fluids. I haven't used fluid pipes much at all, actually. I probably should. I haven't really used them at all, mostly because they weren't in the game the last time I used them. So I've only really had much experience with steam pipes. Either way, what I'm thinking is that we can probably afford, except, you know, replace that all, make it the other way. There we go. So this should allow us to increase reasonably easily the production of the mine, unless of course the mine cannot have an additional speed boost. That's totally fine. Not bitter about that even slightly. Just realized it right now. It can't get a speed boost. Totally worthless endeavor. Totally worthless endeavor. But you know what? You live and you learn, etc. And, you know, mostly for me, I do more living than I do learning. But that's okay. All right, what do we got? House max increased by 5. That's very, very nice. Mana transmission has also been unlocked, which is pretty darn great. Let's get these houses down and let's get them upgraded like as swiftly as I figuratively can. Right. I mean, the gourmet goods are a little bit further removed, but that's fine. That's probably not going to stay the same. Yeah, do I want to just, like, continue to build this area? I think I want to continue to build this area. I mean, look, I've committed to filling in the river, which was, in hindsight, a pretty bad idea. I should maybe have given that a little bit more consideration before I did it. However, I've done it now, and therefore I don't need to worry about fixing it. We do not have enough cloth. Well, that is highly surprising, in fact. Highly, highly, highly surprising. Well, I say that. It's not really highly surprising, as it's become pretty clear. Pretty clear that cloth and wool, actually, or cloth, cotton, and wool are all resources which I could do with a heck of a lot more of. I mean, I could do with a full belt for each of these workshops, truth be told. Is there any chance that I can increase my cotton production by maybe just getting a second dedicated cotton belt? Is that entirely possible? We can certainly give it a shot, right? Except this is only going to grab cotton. Yep. Pick up the items as they come down here. And where do we want to bridge? I guess we can bridge in the same location that we did last time. That is fine with me. Excellent. Okay, and then we do our trick, where we do that, and then we do that. Easy enough. As long as we've got the space to get around here, we should be fine. Excellent. Thankfully, I have left enough space. Okay, ditch that grabber and instead, just destroy that, and then keep this turning, and we'll get a splitter. We'll get a splitter there, and that's gonna split resources into the silo, which is not actually what I want, because that's gonna slow down the transmission or the transport of the cotton, which is a bit of a problem, actually. That is a little bit better. So yeah, as you can see, we should have fewer problems with that. And then I also feel, let's ditch that, and that should give us a little bit more of a consistent cotton supply. Are we able to output enough at the farm? Little bit doubtful, to be honest. Little bit doubtful. No way that we can add a speed boost to the farm. But that's okay. I mean, look, I don't think we have any choice. I think we have to crank up the number of workers. Thankfully, we can crank up the number of workers now, because we've got plenty of workers spare, and then just slowly bring down the number of workers until that number holds roughly just about steady. Okay, I think 7 workers in there is just about as good as it gets. Just about as good as it gets for us. That is a very, very, very healthy supply of cotton. Yeah, that is 2 thumbs up. That is 2 thumbs up from me. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Great. Okay, back to the mana shard problem. I'd say it's a mana shard problem. It's not a mana shard problem. We can now crank up the number of workers that we have working in this mine. Do we want more than a single belt? A secondary belt seems like a very, very wise idea. Right. So we do that. We're actually able to maintain more than 2 belts at a time anyway. The speed booster for these magic forges might be an idea. Given that I've built a pipe all the way out here, it certainly seems like a good idea to me. Clearly not just trying to cover my mistakes up with something which is reasonably productive. No. You must be thinking of somebody else. I wouldn't do that. Right, add a steam booster to both of those, and we get a nice, I say free boost. It's not really a free boost, but it is a roughly free boost. So that's nice at least. And that's going to give us a huge number of crystals. Excellent. We'll upgrade the barn, make sure that that is fully ready to rock and roll. To be honest, I think maybe we can just straight up throw down an additional forge. It makes sense, right? Okay. Excellent. And yeah. No, okay. All right. Well, I thought I had a pretty good route mapped out there, but apparently the video game says otherwise. If in doubt, trust the video game. All right, mana crystal. We are go. Okay, that is 3 magic forges making mana crystals. As it turns out, mana crystals are kind of like one of the most important like late game bits of tech. So I would anticipate that it will only become more important to make sure that we've got a pretty consistent supply of mana crystals. There we go. And again, we'll crank down the number of workers that we need. 5. Can we sustain this with 4? I reckon we can actually sustain it with 4. Maybe not indefinitely, but we can at least sustain that with 4. Cool. All right, so this is going to deplete our blue coin storage because we are going to be drawing down on this massive stockpile of blue coins that we built up. And I would say actually that our blue coin situation isn't the most secure. Oh, this is looking a little bit better. Cool. Yeah, very happy with that. Yeah, as I say, our blue coin situation isn't the most secure, given that we've got a pretty bad track record, I would say. Pretty bad track record of selling goods at the Apocryphy. Pretty bad track record. Also, have we linked up these houses? We've not even upgraded these houses. Potato, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is just bad. This is just bad. Bad. Just bad. Just bad. Okay, now everything is linked up. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 30 houses, linked to 30 houses. Excellent. Oh, yes, I was going to go and get cloth, wasn't I? I was going to go and get cloth, and then I completely spaced, and then completely forgot that I actually had to do that. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we use this as an opportunity to see if we can build a caravan, because we haven't actually built a caravan yet. So, this is a high-capacity wagon? Can take 10 units. It looks like it can take like a substantial number of units, actually. Okay, that's very, very cool. Again, presumably it's boosted by the road. Yeah, wowzers. That is major acceleration there. Okay, I mean, that's cool, I guess. It's very, very cool. Yeah, what can I say? I'm happy with that. That looks great. That looks excellent. Yeah, okay, let's see if we can try and upgrade as many of the houses as we possibly can. We need reinforced planks now, which should not be a problem. I suppose we have been selling a ridiculously large number of wooden planks, or wooden reinforced planks at the general store. But even though, I thought we were making them fairly consistently. Do we need iron? Iron is a big old problem. Yeah, I think we need to move to magma. I think we need to move to magma as a fuel source as soon as we possibly can. I have no idea how to make magma. Is it even possible to make at this moment in time? I don't actually know. I do not actually know. Maybe I've already unlocked it, to be honest. I haven't really checked my unlocks in a little while. A steam engine, a water pump. I haven't utilized a water pump yet. I've unlocked deep mining, which allows placement of mine shafts that can produce resources from depleted sources. Don't think I've done that quite yet. Magic Forge, yeah. Void Obelisk, yeah. Steam Booster, yeah. Steam Engine. Yeah, I mean, where the heck do I find magma? I don't think it's something that you can just find. I think it must be something that you create. Perhaps. It's not in a temple, I don't think. It may well be in a temple, but I don't think that it is. A water pump uses steam power to produce a large amount of water. That would be good to do, actually. That would be very, very good to do. That would be very, very good to do. No, I have absolutely no idea how we can get ourselves a hold of magma. Let me have a little look-see, shall we? Magma. Produced by Fire Shrine. Okay, so it turns out that I'm just totally full of nonsense, and it is actually produced at a temple thing. It's here that it happens, supposedly, and yet there is no recipe here. Or well, a temple is technically different from a shrine, right? So do we need a fire shrine? Okay, we need a fire shrine. Oh boy. Okay. All right. We got it. There's a long way to go before we can think about getting magma. Right. Okay. In the meantime, what can we do to speed up the transmission of coal? Well, firstly, tell you what, I'm glad that I discovered that reasonably quickly. Usually it takes a lot longer. Usually it takes a lot longer to come to a sensible conclusion like that. All right, there we go. So that's all metal belts, which is pretty darn good if I do say so myself. Let's metal this belt up. There we go, all the way along here. And then I think I'm just content to let those belts be cloth. Okay, so that should mean probably that we end up with a decent amount of iron coming out of here. I mean, we're not far off that point, I don't think, where we're gonna manage to deal with all of our iron consumption, but it is gonna take a little bit of effort on our part there to make sure that we solve that problem. Cool. And all this time, these mana shards have just been going crazy. Excellent. We also need to get mana bricks. We need to get mana bricks as well. Now, mana bricks consume stone bricks and mana crystals in order to make. So you know what we can do? I actually want to straight up... Oh, we need reinforced planks again. That's where all my reinforced planks went. They were all busy being snaffled up by the magic forges. I knew it. I knew it. And then we started selling all of the other ones to everywhere else. Don't think that we've got any more. Yeah, I think we're fine. I think we're fine for planks. Like, we're moving everything in the appropriate quantity, which is good. It's a little bit slow to get the reinforced planks to where they need to go, but that's fine. Also, these fishing boats can come up because these are one person each that was occupying. Also, another way that I can momentarily stockpile reinforced planks is just by deleting the connection over here, or alternatively turning off these grabbers. But it's a little bit easier to just destroy the belt. So that's cool. Right, so I want to build an additional magic forge. Oh. Add a steam booster. Just go for it. And build me some pipe. Nice. Because I value my people more than I value, you know, a slight investment to add a steam booster. That is very much the case. Okay, anyway, the short-term plan is that we're going to get a magic forge here. We actually want to get 2 magic forges, truth be told. We want to get 2 magic forges. One magic forge is going to be dedicated to making crystals. So it takes 8 seconds to make a crystal, and then it takes 10 seconds to make a mana brick. So we're going to copy that over there. We're going to assign this as a mana crystal manufacturing shack, even though that's a little bit of a disguise, because it's not actually going to be manufacturing mana crystals. Well, I mean, look, it is going to be manufacturing mana crystals. There's no other way to go about saying it. A mana crystal is a mana crystal, whether you look at it one way or another, you know? No doubt about that. However, it's the use of those mana crystals that is going to be slightly different from the other magical areas. Okay, build the wood arch out here. Again, you can already see that we've got pretty bad fuel issues. And we're not able to supply our fuel accordingly. Okay, splitter over there. Excellent. Okay, so forge over here. We need to get the steam booster added. Yeah, is our single steam generator enough to supply all of this area with steam? I straight up do not think it is. You know what? How do I get a steam generator? Not a steam generator, a water pump. I would love a water pump. No water nearby? Au contraire. We'll do our classic trick. Linked to like a gazillion tiles. What do we need to input? We need to input rotational power. And we need to input steam. Right. Well, I can input one of those things. I have no idea where the heck we're going to get rotational power from. Flippin' heck, that sounds complicated. Right. Alright. No idea where the rotational power comes from, but it's coming from somewhere, I guess, or maybe we just don't need it. I really have no idea. Really have no idea what a rotational power is. Cool. Alright. Excellent. A full belt, a guaranteed full belt of steam. Is that even enough? I feel like it's not. Yeah, I feel like we could really do with boosting this a little bit. Okay, let me try again. There's nothing wrong with this well. It's not particularly great, to be honest. Doesn't look like it's doing a phenomenal job, but it's at least managing. Okay. Reverse the flow of this. We got a different route. This goes up here and in there. Okay, so that is 2 full belts of water. I'm pretty sure that this steam generator will just consume... It'll just consume almost as much fuel and water as we throw in it. So there's effectively no limit. But now that we've got the steam pump over here, that's looking pretty good, actually. Or the water pump. That's looking pretty nice. That's looking pretty darn nice. Anyway, the time that I've gone and faffed around with that, I will have created enough reinforced planks to create another magic forge, which is the plan. Now, over here, what I want to do is I want to do that, and then I want to grab a pusher. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a pusher. Yep, we're going to push things in there. And we're actually going to bring this out to the side. So as long as there is space for mana crystals to be received in this magic forge right here, we are going to accept them. So there you go. That's what we're going to do. Next, we're going to need to supply a fuel source, and this is where it's going to get a little bit jank. And this is why we need to make sure that we have a good supply of fuel here. There we go. Splitter there. I mean, look, this needs to be upgraded to a bigger, better source, and this we need to have more, workers in the mines or whatever. We also probably need to get them supply pickaxes or something to boost their productivity, because it is frankly scandalous. Yeah, sure, just that. Right, so that should increase tremendously the amount of fuel that we're able to supply to all of these magic forges. Is it going to be enough? Maybe, might not be. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, now stone brick. Stone brick, stone brick, stone brick. Now, I actually don't have any stone brick assembly area at this moment in time. We've got a bunch of stone brick over here that is just waiting in this barn. Slight problem, however. Slight problem, however. The stone source completely disappeared. Completely disappeared. And I have absolutely no idea if there's any way that we're going to be able to prospect for stone even after it's been destroyed. I mean, is that possible? It seems like it's possible. It seems like it will be possible if I was to put this down here. And then if I go... stone? Like, even though there's no stone source technically there, it should allow me to mine... it should allow me to mine the stone. Which is kind of what I'm going for, to be honest. I mean, that looks good. That looks very, very good. Let's delete these workers, because they're no longer required. There we go. No. There we go. Delete you. And we can just deliver that resource to the stonemason over there. That is fine. Anyway, hopefully I've cleaned up enough of this worker mess over here that we can actually just get ourselves a fairly similar setup next to this stone source right over here. Right, so let's grab ourselves some stone. At least I think this is grabbing from an underground source. I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty certain that because of the tiles, you can see that it's underground. I don't think there is any way to technically tell, but there is no other source around. There's definitely no other source of stone around. This is definitely all iron. So I'm just going to assume that that's the case. Okay, we can, like, seriously reduce the number of people that we have working in that stonemason, and then throw them all over here if we need to. Speaking of stonemason, I'll quickly grab a little copy of that. It's a pretty simple setup. It's a pretty simple setup that we're going to have over here. Polished stone. To be honest, what are the chances that we can supply both polished stone and stone brick? This seems like a pretty good place to do it, because I'm pretty certain that polished stone is a requirement for, like, fancy schmancy magic and stuff. That's right. You heard it here first, folks. Also, I don't know why I'm not using belts. Belts are fantastic. There we go. Excellent. Okay. So the stone bricks are going to be made, and the polished stone is going to be made. Of course, it's only going to be the stone bricks that are piped across to the magic forge where they're needed. The other resource is going to... what the heck am I doing? It's a new level of stupidity. A new level of stupidity. All right. Barn over here. Throw that over there. Throw this in here. Polished stone there. Excellent. And then ditch this nonsense, which is accumulated over there. And I think that's it, actually. I think that's it. The only thing that I would say is that we obviously want to make sure that everything gets steamed up over here. Hot and steamy. Let's do it all. Just like that. That's a barn. That's a barn potato. It's just gonna... we're just gonna fill up a barn. We're gonna fill up an entire flippin' barn with steam power. I didn't realize it was possible, but now I do. Now I do. We're able to store our steam power. That's actually brilliant knowledge. I'm super glad that I found that out. But at the same time, kind of unnecessary to know. I do appreciate the fact that I do now know, though. That is very cool. Okay, add a steam booster. Add a steam booster. What do you know? Hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of steam in the future. How much steam are we actually outputting? Oh, now we've got an issue with coal. Oh boy, it's like there's never a happy medium, is there? There's never a happy medium. Okay, do it with a chute. I'm pretty certain that a chute is just like the best way to go. I have no proof. I have absolutely no proof. But it feels like the best way to go. Right. Okay, that is a much more healthy supply of steam. And I think that is going to be good enough. I think that's going to be good enough. Also, speaking of steam, on a completely unrelated note, let's make sure that we pump up all of the houses to the top level. Level 5. Wonderful. That's looking good. That's looking good. That's feeling grand. Very, very happy with that. Okay, iron is looking a lot stronger. We're actually starting to stockpile a little bit of iron, which is very, very nice. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna reconnect the reinforced plank connection over here. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that we now have the amount of wood to sustain that. Cool. All right, ditch this steam power, as it's honestly probably not going to be a thing that I need to think about going forward, but there we go. It might be. Okay, so at the moment, we're going to prioritize stone brick by the very virtue of the fact that a stone brick only requires 3 stones in order to turn into a stone brick. We could probably pump up the number of... people that we have in the stonemason and or the mine, but to be honest, I think we will be fine. Right. And now, just like that, we've managed to get ourselves mana blocks. Except I'm not going to put that there. I'm going to put it into a separate barn so that we don't have any conflict between mana crystals and the mana bricks, because we're going to need a lot of mana crystals. Speaking of mana crystals, let me move this barn over here on a temporary basis. We'll get a brand new barn that I'm going to fully upgrade. Again, just because I'm convinced that we're going to need a whole bunch of mana crystals going forward. And I would rather, you know, I'd rather start being responsible and stockpiling them right now. So I'd be very, very keen. Very, very keen. Cool. Very, very cool indeed. This magic forge is looking great. The speed boost is working wonders, and I'm very, very happy with how that is looking. Okay, so what do I need to get into to hit the next upgrade? Holy cow. Okay, purple coins, which we don't have any way of generating yet, with the exception of perhaps making a cake. An enchanted book and a mana brick. Well, we need an enchanter in order to build an enchanted book. Do we even have an enchanter? I don't think we do. I think we need to do mana power research before getting that. We can unlock mana transmission right now, which is mana transmitter, mana receiver, and a mana pipe, which is good. You know, definitely something that we want to do. Why don't we see if we can do it? It is going to involve rather a journey in order to get the crystals out here, because as you'll see, we actually need the crystals over here in order to make the schools produce the goods. What's the best, least intrusive way of sorting this out? Buying this land. Oh my goodness, look at that patch of stone. Look at that patch of coal. Or, I tell you what, we just move a barn. We manually move a barn that is full of like a gazillion mana crystals. Oh, this feels like an exploit. But I kind of dig it. We build a bunch of wood arches across here. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty. I mean, it's not gonna be a foolproof situation. You know, we're gonna need to change out our barns from time to time, I guess. But that's very okay with me, actually. And there's only certain bits of research that actually require... mana crystals. So if we can just get... if we can get those bits of research done pronto, then that's excellent. Oh man, that feels good. That feels really, really good. That feels very, very cheaty, but something that I'm very, very happy that we're able to accomplish. I say it sounds cheaty. To be honest, it is like a core function of the game that you're able to move buildings that have resources in. So I don't feel like I'm exploiting too hard if it is a very base feature. Right? Back me up on this, please. Back me up on this, please. In the comment section. Tell me that I'm not cheating. Tell me that I'm just using the game mechanics creatively. Or something like that. Make me feel good about the situation. Anyway, purple coins. I think the berry cake... That's right. That's right. The berry cake gives us 12 purple coins if we're able to produce it. I don't think there's anything else that can give us purple coins that we can make right now. Elemental refinery we definitely cannot make. We can make a protein shake. We cannot make a fire ether. We can't make a health potion. Anything in the enchanter, we cannot make. As I say, I'm like 90% sure. It's probably a better overview. 90% sure the only thing that we can really make is a berry cake. So we are we're kind of forced really to make a berry cake right now. But that's okay, because that gives us an opportunity to bring our delightfully gourmet food supply up online. Okay, so let's have a little look-see. Let's have a little look-see, shall we? Now, I want to basically create this gourmet foods area to work as well as this apothecary over here. In fact, better if we can. Okay. Here's the plan. Can I move this? I can actually move it a little bit across. Cool. I think you can probably see the design that I'm going for. So this is just going to continue up here, and then we're actually just going to change the route of this rail line to go up here. And then we're going to change it back to go down there. Literally that simple. Cool. And then we're going to make sure that these rail loaders only have, you know, the appropriate resources set up as an input. You twit, potato. You've ended up adding logic links to everything. That's not required. There you go. So all of these rail links are turned off at the moment, or the rail loader functions are turned off, but that's fine for now. That is totally fine for now. That looks good. That looks very, very, very good. There is perhaps a way that we could speed this up, you know, again, using sorters, but there's not really any point. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Super fast research. Excellent. Mana transmitter, mana receiver, mana pipe, and mana power. Mana transmission, mana crystals can be sent long distances versus ethereal pipes. Now this, folks, is kind of why I moved a barn rather than setting up a complex transport network in order to move resources from like one half of the map to the other half of the map. Because I just thought we're gonna unlock mana transmission and we can transmutate our mana crystals across the map to this point anyway. So for now, I'm just gonna move the barn. Anyway, mana power. Let's get mana power unlocked again, since there is like no reason not to, right? Let's do it. Nice. Okay, so how do we actually make a berry cake? I haven't actually inquired as to how we do that. It's made in a kitchen, so where's our kitchen area? Ah, yes, our kitchen area is over here, and it's very, very cramped. Give me the lowdown. Oh, boy. A cake, jam, sugar, berries. And a cake is made by using flour, sugar, butter, eggs. Oh, my God. And jam is made by itself using 4 bits of fruit, sugar, and fuel. Okay, wow. Jam takes 5 seconds, cake takes 10, berry cake takes 10. I think it's doable. Well, I know it's doable. It's definitely doable. That's not what's at stake here. That's not the question. The question is, how do we go about making it not work terribly? It's a good question. Now we've got a barn here that is filled with berries already. It seems almost essential to try and use what we've already got in this area. Let me just give this a little crack before we properly commit to working on something. It is possible, and I wonder if it might be worth us just trying to build like absolutely everything in the same. Oh, we need to build butter as well. Butter takes milk. Milk is built. Milk is actually not built in here, I don't think. Okay, so these are all of the inputs. Oh boy. Milk is produced in a pasture. Milk is also something that we require for the food market. Don't get me wrong, like, milk is its own category, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, milk is its own category, so we need to sort out milk anyway. You know what I think we do? I really would love some flat land. Oh, this is perfect. This is so perfect. This is so unbelievably perfect. Okay, I couldn't have asked for a better, flatter area if I tried. And I did try. Right, what am I looking for? I'm looking for tools. I'm looking for flattened down. Let me... There we go. Okay, so terraform this area. Make it all nice and flat. We'll get it all on the same level. We've actually got coal out here, thankfully, already. Because coal is probably going to be our primary power source. We're not going to need any of this. We're not going to need any gold. We're not going to need mana shards. We're not going to need cotton. We're not going to need trees. Literally just the coal. Literally just the coal. I want as much free space as I possibly can get. Gold, or sorry, the airstone over there, that's not even super required. I say super required, it's not required at all. Right, so let's get this planned out. This is very, very exciting, I must say. Okay, so we know in the first instance the pasture is going to be super important, but actually there are components that come before the pasture. Speaking of, oh, look at that. It's another perfectly flat area. Okay, I am in love with this area. This is just bloomin' brilliant. Okay, so let's start here. So we need a pasture. This pasture is 100% going to produce milk. We also need a pasture to produce eggs, right? I'm going to try and zone this out in as simple a way as possible. Okay, we're going to need at least 4 kitchens. More if the ratios are not on my side. This kitchen is going to make butter. Butter is simple to make. Literally just milk, okay? This one is going to make... That's fruit juice. No. I want jam. Jam is right there. Cool. Then the next one is going to want to make... The next one is going to want to make cake. And then the next one, the final one, is going to make berry cake. Cool. Okay, so let's work out the ratios because I want to try and nail these ratios straight from the get-go. So, pastures produce 1 milk every 2 seconds. Butter consumes 2 milk every 5 seconds. So that actually works out very, very well. And it's just going to be 1 kitchen to 1 pasture. It could maybe be worked a little bit better, but you know, that's fine. We'll assume that that's the ratio for now. I can always come back and alter this in the future. This pasture is going to be making eggs because we need eggs for the cake production, if I'm not mistaken. So the cake production goes here. We need flour production as well, and flour is made at a grain mill. We do technically already have flour production over here, but I mean, this is the bread area, so like we're gonna make sure that we replicate everything over here as best we can. Okay, and this is gonna be making flour. Excellent. I know, by the way, that these pastures need animal feed. I'm working that into the equation. A recharger, an enchanter, a mana connector, a health potion, and magic jewelry. Okay, this is super great. Super, super great. I appreciate it, Mana Power. You give me these instructions. It's very, very necessary. I didn't look at the instructions for how to do the trains, and I regret it every day of my life. Okay, right. So this kitchen actually is pretty easy to deal with. This is just the fruit kitchen, which is going to make the jam. We literally just need fruit, sugar, fuel, and time, and we make jam. This is the big one here, the cake. So that's going to require 4 flour. This outputs 1 flour every 4 seconds, which means it's going to be every 12 seconds that we create 4 flour. Which means that we need at least 1. We need at least 1 grain mill. We need 2 grain mills, in fact. 2 grain mills to 1 kitchen here. I'm going to spread this out. This is far too tight, by the way. Right, what else do we need at this kitchen? So this butter is made in there. The eggs in there. And then we need sugar as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plonk this kitchen straight up here. And then I'm going to sort of mentally put in place some belts just so that I know roughly where everything is going. I feel like that should be moved across just by 1. Just so that it's a little bit tidier. Flour we can move by chutes, and we will move by chutes. Right, nice. Again, this is not permanent. Far from it. But is that everything? Is that everything taken care of? No, we need sugar. We need sugar, we need sugar, we need sugar. And we're going to do that via a farm. We're going to need a lot of farms over here. This is a lot of investment just for the resources that we need. Okay, what did I say? We need sugar, we need berries, and then we'll obviously need like a ridiculously large amount of grain. And the grain is probably best grown at a separate farm over here where there's actually already a grain supply. How wonderful. How jolly good, eh? Okay, then we're going to have a grain mill over here, which very simply consumes 2 animal feed every 2 seconds. And this produces 1 animal feed every 2 seconds. So we actually need 4 grain mills, or we just crank up the number of workers in here. To be honest, the idea of like 4 grain mills is not absolutely abhorrent. It's actually fairly reasonable. But you see, there's an additional source of drain on these bits of grain over here. There's the 2 grain mills over here. So we're going to need to make sure that there's another farm that is ready to pick up the slack. Grain, excellent. Okay. So this is the first time that I've actually like seriously tried to make sure that the ratios are in a good place. And I will say it does feel like they're in a good place. We're getting to a point where everything is looking nice. We're getting to a point where everything is looking nice. Okay, so that goes in there. That goes in there. That goes in there. And that goes in there. That is looking very, very good. So that's everything taken care of, as far as I'm aware, with the exception of fuel. Right? This is going to be sugar over here, so... Can we roll sugar? I guess we'll find out, right? I don't know, can we roll eggs? I don't think eggs are rollable. I mean, maybe IRL are rollable, but they're definitely not rollable in this game. I say definitely. I've said definitely about things before in this game, but they don't look rollable. They really don't. Okay. Cool. So then, the cake mix goes straight through here. The jam, which is going to have its own setup of fields over behind here. Right? It's kind of a little bit tight and into the coal deposit and the iron deposit area, but that's okay. Also, berries. Can berries roll? I don't think berries can roll. Hate to break it to you, potato. Don't think berries can roll. Okay, so that's the berry supply route. Sugar can also be grown here. That's totally fine. I mean, 1 single belt to supply it is inadequate, to be honest, but that's fine. Speaking of, if this does berries and sugar, we'll want to make sure that only outputs sugar. And then the berries can be transported to the cake mix over here via belts. The jam is going to be moved up from here. Honestly, this is like one of the most efficient setups that I think I've ever made. And I'm giving my space like scalability as well. Like I want to tighten this up, but I only want to tighten it up once we make sure that we've got like everything nailed down. I'm also still not convinced that I'm going to have enough animal feed. Like that is how much animal feed we actually need. I've also burned through like a gazillion workers. We got loads of workers over here. I think we're ready to start production, are we? I think we might be ready to start production. berry filter. One of these is berries. One of these is sugar. We could do with a little bit of buffering in certain places. That would certainly be nice. Okay, what we need to do in the very first instance is get a whole bunch of farm tiles down. Can I increase the number of farm tiles that I place at once? Unfortunately not. Well, the good news is it doesn't really matter where I place farm tiles over here. They're all going to be useful. Apart from that one over there. That will never be useful. Never say never. But it'll never be useful. Okay. I burned through a lot of cash. And still going. I have no regrets. Cool. Alright, that's looking not too shabby if I do say so myself. Maybe a couple more farm tiles over here. Again, you know, we can bump up the number of workers working in this area. That's definitely not a problem. Of course, I have not accounted for the fact that I'm going to need a whole bunch of shoots coming out of here. Excellent. No, not excellent. It doesn't work. Alright. Now let's try. It works. Okay. Excellent. So, have I doofed up the ratios here? I don't think I have. I think I just need to make sure that I give the farm enough grain to farm. That really is important. Okay. So we do that. We could also do with getting ourselves a well to speed up the growth of the grain, because it is a very, very big improvement if we just add water. Okay, let's get a well. Let's get a well right over here. Or alternatively, we could get ourselves a water pump. That would be exciting and novel, but also pretty unnecessary. Okay, cool. So, do the watering thing. Supply water. There we go. We could supply fertilizer at some point, but, you know what? We'll get to that later. Right, okay. We'll crank up the number of workers in the farm. At some point, we need to have a lot of workers in that farm. But we don't really have that many workers spare, but that's fine. Okay, grain. I mean, maybe we can just get away with one farm. Is it possible that we can just get away with one farm supplying all of these buildings? Also, it looks like I've doofed this up. I have undoofed it up. He's undoofed it, folks. He's undoofed it. Okay, we need water over here too. And water over there. Excellent. Okay. Maybe we should see if we can try and make it with just one singular farm. One singular farm would be... It would be great. It would be great if we could do that. It would be great if we could do that. Also, I only want milk coming out here. I only want milk. No room for fertilizer. But fertilizer can just stockpile in the pasture, I believe. Like, we don't need to empty it, or so I've been told. Don't know if that is the truth or if that is a lie. Right, we need more water. That is surprising. But it always seems to be the water that we need in these places. By these places, I mean pastures. For some obscene reason. It's almost like it's worth getting a steam pump so that we avoid this irritating situation arising. I mean, why not, right? Like, we might as well throw one down for good measure. Okay, delete this building, delete this building. Delete this building. Get it tidied up. I mean, look, we need to move to more advanced technology anyway. This is the future. This is the future. There's no nearby water. Of course. Ooh. Oh. I almost forgot. I almost forgot that I've been recommended at least 50 times to utilize fluid pipes. Fluid pipes are made at a lumber mill. We have tons of lumber mills that can do the job. Right. Do a fluid pipe. Literally just do a fluid pipe. Literally a barn right there. Can fluid pipes roll? It would be great if they could, but I sincerely doubt that they can. Okay, do not... in fact, you can output planks. That's okay. All right. So now that we've got fluid pipes, is it entirely possible for us to just supply everything remotely? Obviously, we're going to need to make sure that we get a... oh, we got a mining overlay here. Oh, look at this. Look at this. You can see all of the stone resources underneath the ground. How funky is that? The ones that we're actually drawing down upon. Very, very cool. I like that a lot. I like that. Okay, let's look at the steam pipe overlay again. And let's copy this and drag this all the way down here. Ooh, are we going to have enough pipes? We're going to be totally fine. Never even a doubt in my mind. Never even a singular doubt in my mind. Where's our steam pipes? Why are they not being made more quickly? I know why. It's because we've not got a barn full of them. We need more barn storage. That would be very, very helpful, wouldn't it? Okay, we got a water pump. The steam is going to be arriving imminently. We're gonna pump out the water with the fluid pipe. Shift to a grid overlay. Fluid pipe overlay. Oh yeah, I don't actually have a fluid pipe yet. Here we go. Okay, so I need to just go into here, I think. Literally that simple, right? It's great. It's fantastic. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that is so brilliant. And that looks fantastic. That looks great. Okay, we get 2 water every 1 second. And this we get 1 water every 2 seconds. So there's actually a severe water surplus at this moment in time. Which is kind of useful, actually. We can just feed the extra water into this system. Why the heck not, right? We also should probably get a splitter in here so that just to make certain that we're allocating the resources. We're allocating the resources completely evenly. Otherwise, there will always be a bit of a discrepancy there. Also, are we able to get enough steam here? We're able to get enough steam. There's just rather a lot of water that is needed to feed these pastures. Either way, the fact that that works is brilliant. I will say it looks like the farm is managing to output everything. Let me see if I can just, like, immediately get rid of all of the eggs just to see if the farm can deal with all of the output there. It looks like that's the case. You know what? Let's ditch this farm. Let's ditch this farm. I know that I just placed down all of these tiles and I said that each and every one of them would be useful, and that's really, really great, and it doesn't really matter if I misplace any of the tiles because we're going to find a space for them all at some point in the future. I lied. I know. It was a bad thing to do. It was a bad thing to do. Can we do that? Don't really like doing that. I don't really feel like that's a very good thing to do. Doesn't seem like good practice in the general scheme of things, but it's what I'm going to do on this occasion. Okay. And again, we are fine. We are totally fine. This is great. This is really, really good. Okay, so the grain mill produces flour. The flour goes up to the cake. We need to get sugar sorted over here, don't we? Oh, do we need more? Oh, we need more sugar for the berry cake as well. Totally fine. Grab a chute. Right over there. That needs to be amended. We need to grab a splitter. There is a splitter somewhere. I actually think that there's only a splitter in the sky. I say the sky. There is a splitter. It's not in the sky, but it's in the, it's in another overlay. Another overlay from a different time. Also, I've just realized the issues with putting a chute there. Big old problem. It's gonna interfere. Excellent. Okay, much better. Fine. So that's gonna be sugar. The berries are gonna go in a very specific direction as well. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that this is actually working. Oh, this is so brilliant. It's so brilliant. Also, what was I doing? Yeah, mine shaft as well. People said I should place a couple of these. I will place a couple of these to extend the underground mining capability. I'll do that. It's not super essential. You'll have seen earlier that we only really had our first instance where we actually needed to start mining underground resources over the course of this episode, actually. So I'm sure it'll become more necessary going forward, but for now it's not really a big deal. All right, so that's half the farm sugared, half the farm buried. You know what I mean. Okay, copy the well. I think we're just going to try and keep it reasonably simple over here. We don't need to add additional water, I don't think. We don't actually need that much sugar. We don't actually need that many berries. Cool. All right. Grand. So now that leaves just this area over here. Why don't we see if we can make some... Why don't we see if we can... I was going to say, it's easier if we just do berries. It's really, really lame, but we need a forester in order to harvest apples and pears, which is ridiculous. But berries can just be harvested at a farm, so it's actually, I think, better for us to harvest berries. It takes 1 second to harvest at... It takes 1 second to harvest one berry. Maybe it's more efficient if we were to see if we could get a forester 1 every 2 seconds. No, it looks like it's literally the same time to pick a pear or pick an apple. So then what is the point of ever using an apple or a pear? Doesn't really make sense, but that's fine. Yeah, cool. All right, just get these planted up, and then we're golden, really. I don't think that we're gonna need that many bits of berries or that many bits of sugar, but we might. Also, I'm kind of holding back a couple of people, very, very small numbers of people, to... Oh, we need fuel as well. Oh, I completely spaced on fuel. That's fine. Fuel's easy. Fuel's very, very easy. It's entirely easy to deal with. I spaced on it, but I remembered how I was gonna do it. We don't have reinforced planks. I really need the reinforced planks in order to be able to build the berry cake. Crazily enough. I wonder if it's worth transporting coal. No, it's not worth transporting coal. I don't really want to get into shipping resources like all the way around the map. I think we just need to, you know, mine the coal here. But the only problem is that I ain't got the reinforced planks to do that at the moment. But if I did, then all I would do is literally create a belt which goes in here, right? This cake factory needs fuel. This cake factory does not need fuel. So it's literally just a case of splitting this source in twain and then creating a little tiny overpass. Nope. Yep, a little tiny overpass to supply this area with coal. The good news is that it's quite easy for us to just place down a harvester as a short-term fix. As a short-term fix for all of the coal needs that we have. It's very cool. It's very cool. It actually works. Okay, where's our sugar? Where's our sugar? Is it grown yet? No, it's not grown yet. That's fine, because we're going to need a well. Okay, I hope we don't need to employ any other workers, because boy, oh boy, oh boy, I will be very disgruntled if that's the case. Don't think we do. Are all of our farms supplying water? They should be. Even if they're not supplying fertilizer, that's fine. Pastures are all coping. That is great. Okay, so the jam is about to be made. We're not harvesting sugar over here. Okay, it's good. I was just testing your video game. I was just testing you. We're also like literally at our cap, so there is no way that we can take it that we can take it up from this level. Are you not harvesting sugar either? You're harvesting sugar. Sugar cannot be rolled. Okay, all right. It's good to know. It's good to know. It's good to know these things. In fact, but berries can be rolled. The most cursed interaction that I think I've ever seen. That is mind-bendingly stupid. I disapprove. I disapprove on a very, very visceral level. That is disheartening. That is very disheartening. Okay. Well, know what? No matter. It's okay. We'll just get this sorted. All right. Give me a cake. Give me a cake. Give me a cake. I've waited for this long, video game. You can give me a cake. Give me the grabber. I can't be bothered faffing around. I don't want to find out where the front door is. I might have placed it the wrong way around. Pretty sure that is the front door over there. Sure. I take it back. All right, so we got a cake. We have an actual cake, and we're about to have a berry cake as soon as the jam starts arriving. And to tell you what, once things get going here, we should be good. Like, I feel like the first port of call is to like ramp up the number of employees we have in each and every one of these processes. But at the moment, it's totally fine. We've done it. We've done it. We've got a berry cake. We've got a berry cake. We only need like 20. We only need to sell like 20 in order to get enough coins to upgrade our base. However, the fact that we've made a berry cake is, frankly, miracle enough for one episode. We can't have too many miracles in this same episode, because otherwise that would be spoiling it for the next episode. Either way, the ratio is almost there. We need a few more bits of sugar, to be honest, but that's okay. We can deal with that. We can deal with that next time. The fact of the matter is, we've got 6 flipping berry cakes, 7 berry cakes. It keeps on getting better. It keeps on getting better. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as ever, thank you very, very much to the fantastic Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/showbutapotato. Also thanks to Banana Nana and C Senpai for being the 2 $25 plus tier patrons. Things are going from better to better in this series, and I'm really, really enjoying it, and I hope you are too. Thank you very much for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.